Oh, shit.
Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Deborah D. Smith, and I'm excited to be here today with my special guest, Deric Durden, all the way from Dallas, Texas. Hi, Deric, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Glad to have you back on.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so thank everyone for tuning in today. This is July, and our theme for July is reach out for a positive mindset. How many of you know that we are what we think? So when we think negative, we tend to do negative. So we have to kind of control our positive mindset. So that's what we are focusing on this month. So come on in, make sure that you like, share, and comment as we go through our broadcast today. We're going to have some great tips for you as we talk about the importance of, again, being positive, speaking positive, acting positive, and leaving all that negative energy behind, and what to do about the negative energy that tries to seep into your space. So that's what we want to do. So make sure that you like, and share as we prepare to get started here. And the topic that Deric and I have today is replacements. It's replacements. Before we get started, I know Deric has been here before, but many of you may not have met him. So Deric, can you please tell, I guess, a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Well, I'm just an average guy who's just trying to do my best with the circumstances that I placed myself in the past, and trying to overcome some of the obstacles that I ran into, and just take my life from where it was into what I really feel like it was supposed to be. And so, being able to connect with you and people like Mr. Ricardo Miller has really gave me opportunity to find my passion and purpose in order to reach back to the youth, in order to speak to them and hopefully enlighten and encourage them. So that's me in a nutshell right there.
All right. He's being modest, but we'll let him go with that. All right, we're going to get started here. All right, we live in a world that there are billions of other people. Every action that we make causes a reaction. Let me say that again. Every action that we take causes a reaction. Based on our mindset and what we project, our efforts will result in something either positive or something negative. It's up to us, okay? So, Deric, how much do you believe a person's mindset impacts what they do?
Actually, this week I heard a quote from a guy named Joe Dispenza. He said, "For a person to change their reality, they first have to change their personality." And so, with that, I feel like how we think is definitely the foundation of not only how we speak, but also how we act. And with that being said, I go back to some of my own personal experiences. Growing up, I kind of felt like it was me against the world. It was like I didn't feel like I had the support that I needed to from the people who were actually close to me. And so that's how I responded to the world. And in that with that mind frame, even though I was a star point guard, I got kicked off the basketball team. Even though I was a star quarterback, I got kicked off the football team in high school my senior year right before I was able to go to college. It's just a good thing that I had enough grades that I could still go to college based off my grades. But the back to the point, my mind frame it was full of anger and resentment because of my mind frame. I wasn't counting my blessings. I was looking at the things that weren't right. I felt like wasn't right, and I took that personally, and I responded off of that because, like they say, wherever your mind goes, your energy flows. So my mind was full of negative energy. So that's where all my actions became out negative. So with that, it's just like I'll double down on the fact that whatever your mind frame is, that's where your actions gonna dictate.
Okay. Negative energy. Okay. Uh, so, because we have new people that are here that were not here last time, tell us your story. There's the Deric Durden story. Just tell us your story.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I was a young kid growing up in South Dallas. So I was already in poverty. I was raised by my grandmother, who was a strong woman who encouraged me to do the right thing. And, you know, even though she was encouraging me to do the right thing, my parents weren't always around. So I felt a void. And that's where the real negative energy came from, the void that I had about my parents not being there. And so that caused me to have a negative mind frame. And eventually, like I said, I did good in school, played sports. Then my senior year, it went for a turn. The negative anger and energy made me to make a lot of bad decisions. And it had me actually hanging around a lot of bad people. And so I went from there. I went to prison. I committed murder, went to prison, did 17 years, came out, and now I'm just trying to live my best life. I'm trying to go back. I'm doing motivational speaking. I'm reaching out to the youth. I'm part of a nonprofit organization called Urban Specialists. And, I'm just trying to turn my life story around and build a legacy that's positive instead of based off of my past, which was negative.
Okay, I'm gonna push the envelope a little bit here. So you talk about your grandmother was there, raising you, so she's trying to do her best. You were doing well in school. God had given you these talents, so you could play a little football, you could play a little basketball, but still there was that void. So as and I'm asking these questions so we can help our young men. So as you had these positive things, but still you had the void because your parents were not there. Parents, I'm talking to you too. It's important to spend time with your kids, get involved. But in during any of that, did you ever kind of like stop and say, well, Granny is doing the best she can? if I do this, then I'm hurting Granny because Granny's trying to help me. So did you just, because of your pain, you weren't really thinking about Granny?
Well, to be honest, Granny died before I even made it to high school.
Oh,
She
okay.
was up in age, and she had became disabled, and she had cancer, and so she died from cancer. And so, and and we go back to the void of not having my parents. So when you're a teenager, that's when you're starting to find your own identity. And so if you don't have that foundation of your parents being there and trying to guide you, then you have no other. Well, for me, I turned to um, other people who were not doing the right thing. My
Mhm.
associates, we were out clubbing 6 nights a week, having as much sex with as many females as I could, and I just had a distorted view of what I was supposed to be doing, and it just took me down a path that I don't regret because I wouldn't be the person I am today. But I wish that I could. I feel like everybody does not have to go down the path that I went in order to get to a better place in life. And so that's what I try to reach out and do and make sure that those individuals that don't have to go down that path, because there's some that's going to bump their head either way, no matter what we tell them, no matter what we give them, no resources can change their direction for them. Because like me, I feel like I had it all figured out. And so there are some individuals who maybe if I would have had the right individual that really just stuck with me and a mentor or a, I had coaches in my life, but I was still rebellious. I had individuals that came, but that I couldn't get past the void. I didn't allow myself those opportunities to really connect and build positive, strong relationships with individuals that really wanted the best for me, who could really see more in me than I saw in myself. Because really, I saw myself as all the past hurt and trauma and pain that I was going through instead of the person who I really was.
That's good. And, I kind of pushed the envelope here because I want you young people out there to understand, like Deric says, he had that void and he went through that space. But because he went through that, that doesn't mean that you have to. He went through it for a reason. God doesn't send us through things just to do it. So Deric was the vehicle that God used to teach a lesson. Because if he had taught one of the other people that was in Deric's group, they might have done what Deric did, but then they might have kept going down, 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 down. Deric took that opportunity and he learned from it. He grew from it in order to help others. So that's kind of why I wanted to push that envelope right there. So when someone reaches out to you, like Deric is doing now, trying to help young men and young women to not make the mistakes that he made, it's a great opportunity to listen. Don't, just be stubborn and say, well, I don't need you to tell me. I got it. Who are you? Take the time, to think, okay, this could come out negative, this could come out positive. But here's someone that's willing to take the time to tell me how I can change so that I don't have to go through what he went through, and I can advance that much
Can I,
sooner. So
can I add just a little bit to that?
sure.
So by me going through that experience, it's not somebody that's telling you something that they read in the book or they
Mhm.
telling you what they think you should do, or this is something from experience. This is what I lived. I'm sharing something that, hey, it's some things that went on that you do not want to experience. You do not want to experience prison. You do not want to see some of the things that I saw in prison. You do not want to go without being around your family. You don't want to go and eating food that you would not eat on a regular basis. It's so many things that are taken away from you when you step on the other side of that gate. And I just hope that if I could just touch one person and stop them from making that decision, I felt like I did what I was supposed to do today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I believe it is beneficial to stop, think, and act before we speak and act on our own. You have to invest in living and thinking more positively. To live a successful life, you have to make changes. You can't continue to do what you've always done, because what, you're going to get the same results that you've always gotten. You know, somebody might look at Deborah and say, "Oh, she got it all together." No, I don't have it all together. I got some things that's good, but every day I can learn something new. I can improve. I can do whatever. So whoever I can listen to, I'm listening, trying to think, what can I do better? What can I do differently in order to move forward in life? So we have to, uh, getting back to our topic, replacements. Sometimes there are some things that are going on in our lives, and we have to replace those things. So things like contempt and anger, hate, animosity, jealousy, void, we have to replace those things. Excuse me. And what do we replace those with? We replace them with love and joy and kindness and peace and things that we're taught, because we want to live with a positive mindset. So again, Deric, I believe it is beneficial to stop, think, and act before speaking and acting. How can you replace negative actions with positive actions?
With the stop, think, and action thing, I think there's one key thing that is missing. See, because like we said, thinking is like the foundation. But because of those thoughts, we have feelings, we have emotions, and those emotions are what really are the catalyst to our actions. So first we have a thought. Say for instance, something happens. Somebody steps on my shoes. The first thing I think is, oh man, they think that, oh, I ain't gonna do nothing about it. So now I'm upset. So now in order to, defend myself because of my actions, I gotta do something about it. And the only thing I can do is something negative, because it started off with a negative thought. Now, say for instance, that same situation happens, and I think, oh, that was an accident. So my feelings gonna be different. Be like, oh, okay, maybe okay. He say, excuse me, and so my actions now are gonna be, okay, man, all right, okay, it's all right. There's just a pair of shoes. But because, like I said, we can have the same situation, but when the thought comes, the feeling comes, and then that's when the actions. So one thing we got to make sure that we talk about is the emotions, not just the thinking, but the emotions that come with those things, those thoughts. So, like I was saying, just the stop part, it's hard when you're in the middle of something to actually stop, because we're so trained to do things. Our mind is moving so fast, so that the stopping point is definitely very instrumental in making the right decisions. Sometimes we just got to stop, no matter if it's meditation, no matter if it's just stepping away from the situation in order to make good decisions. So to stop, to think, then you got to deal with our emotions, and then we'll make the right decisions and taking the right actions.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for putting that in there. That's great. Emotions and feelings. And, hey, that's it in a nutshell, because when we react, like you said, it's because, how somebody made you feel,
Right.
those emotions and those feelings. So that is excellent, excellent, excellent.
And a lot
Uh,
of times we feel that way, and that person wasn't even intended for us to feel that way. But
yeah.
it goes back to that thought. It's how we perceive the action is more important than the action within itself. How we respond to it.
All right. Yep. That is so good. Excuse me. Want to just say good evening to those who have tuned in, as we're talking about replacements and replacing those negative energies and emotions and feelings with positive things. Hello, Agnes, Dan, Catherine, Peggy. Thank you all for tuning in this evening. Uh, okay, so Deric, if you could have that man-to-man conversation with Deric the teenager, what would you say to help ensure that he understood the power of having a positive attitude?
First of all, it wouldn't be a man to man; it would be a man to boy. Because back then, I thought as a child, so I act as a child, and now, as a grown man, I act and think as a grown man. So the first thing I would probably say to myself is you can't let what you've been through define who you are today. I feel like every morning that we wake up is a new opportunity. The things that we have experienced, yes, they will color the way that we see certain things, but we can't let those past hurts, pains, trauma continue to just carry that as a backpack every day, carrying it with us and allowing it to weigh us down, allowing us to get into situations that, man, are definitely negative, definitely has no benefits at all. And just looking at myself back then, it was I had so much potential. I could have been and done anything that I put my mind to, and I had a support system that was outstanding. People actually believed in me. People saw in me things that I didn't see in myself. And like I wish I would have took the time to really count my blessings. I wish I would have had the opportunity to, as you say, replace some of those negative thoughts with something positive. I wish I would have, you know, took in some of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that people was giving me. The coaches that leaned into me, like Coach Brown, Coach Whitmore, Coach Ham, those guys leaned into me, and they wanted was what was the best for me, but I didn't receive it. I shunned it because in my heart, I was really, wanting to connect with my father, and that wasn't him. And so it was a brick wall, and it was a brick wall that should have been torn down. But it wasn't just a brick wall physically; it was a brick wall that surrounded my heart because it it, it only kept the negative energy in and wouldn't let no positive energy come in either. It kept the positive energy out. And today, I wish that Deric, 17, 18, 19 years old, would just took the time to sit down and just look at everything that every opportunity that I had, because like I said, I scored so high on my SATs that I could have went to any college. I took the ASCAP for the Army. They told me I scored so high that I could have any job I wanted in the Army. And it was just opportunity. My Coach Brown, he got me a full ride to Paris Junior College when I turned down my other colleges. I didn't go. It was just I was just stuck in this rut. I was just bottled in, and I was just stuck in this like negative energy, and it was like I was in prison before I even got to prison, to be honest. And so with that, I just anybody who that age, I would tell y'all release, forgive, and don't keep yourself in that prison, because 9 times out of 10, if you put yourself in a non-physical prison, you're gonna end up in a real physical prison.
Wow. You say that one again. That now that's deep. Hey, you're in prison before we even really get there because of the binds that you're putting on yourself by limiting yourself, by not listening, and I guess you could say as well, hanging with you don't listen, hanging with the wrong individuals, all that good stuff.
Right. I mean, because like I always go back to, it was me trying to fill that void with all the wrong things. You know, the void was a gaping hole in my heart, and so I tried to fill it with as much things that I could, but I was trying to fit square pegs in a round hole. And no matter what, the different girls, the different friends, associates, they they just wouldn't fill the hole that I had, because they wasn't supposed to. I'm trying to put things in this hole that wasn't supposed to be there in the first place.
That's right. Awesome stuff. So I hope that y'all are listening and share this with someone if you excuse me, tuned in later, please go back and listen at this in its entirety, but please share it with our young men, our mothers with sons, so we can get this information out to them. It's not going to help them if we don't get the information to them. But this is some great nuggets that they really, really need to hear and to be able to, get now before it's too late, while it can help them. So please, please, please share.
Yeah.
All right, Deric. So as we get down to the end here, like we just flying through here, could you please provide your closing thoughts maybe on 5 or however many tips you have for young men to work on gaining and living a positive mindset to overcome their obstacles and build their best lives?
Well, if I had 5 tips, the first one would be you are not alone. And that's a two-way fold because one, we got to understand that when we going through situations, we feel like we the only person that's going through what we're going through. But if we really took the time to look at the overall picture, we'll know and understand that there's many people going through some of the same things that we're going through. And just because I grew up in poverty don't mean that I had to make bad decisions because there's people who was in my same neighborhood who were very much successful at this point in their life.
Mhm.
So it wasn't the environment, it was the decisions that we made within that environment, how we allow that environment to affect us. And also, when I say you're not alone, I'm talking about that you don't have to endure it alone. There are individuals who will be willing to reach out and help you, hold your hand, and guide you through whatever it is that you're going through and provide some help in order to get you out the other end in a better place and not necessarily a bad place. My second would be to understand that it's not the end of the world. A lot of times we go through situations. That's why I feel like the suicide rate is so high because teenagers and other individuals get into these tough situations and they feel like it's the end of the world. At the end of the day, I feel like people commit suicide because they feel like there's no more hope. They feel like they're hopeless. They end of the rope and they can't see another way out. And so at the end of the day, I want you to know and understand that it's not the end of the world. If you just keep on pushing and keep on living, eventually, whatever you're going through, you're going to come out the other end of it. The third one would be build positive relationships. If you have the opportunity to build with a mentor or a coach or family member or uncle, anybody who's doing something positive, a pastor, somebody within the church or whatever organization that you might be a part of, I think that it's very key, it's very intuitive to build positive relationship with positive people who are doing positive things. Because as they say, who you hang around is who you become. You are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most.
That's
And
right.
so if you put yourself in a room with or in the place with positive people, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get positive results. My fourth one would be find something you're passionate about. Like for me, I was passionate about sports. I was passionate about football. I was passionate about basketball. And those things really open a lot of opportunities for me, even as far as school, as far as friends, becoming popular because of what I was able to do on the football field and basketball court. It opened a lot of opportunities for me. But also, at this point in my life, I'm passionate about being a motivational speaker. And so, me finding that path, finding that purpose, it has elevated me and pushed me to do and become a person that I couldn't have did without this passion and purpose. Because a lot of times, without a passion or purpose, we're gonna be lethargic. We're gonna be lazy because we don't have a desire to push forward, or we don't have a target to hit, and so we're just gonna coast around and we're gonna drift. So if you find something you're passionate about, it will guide you and push you to where you need to be. And lastly, don't let other people define you. Today we live in a social media world and everybody has an opinion about everything. Individual cast judgment on individuals that they don't know, that they don't understand their situations. And because they can sit behind a computer screen or a profile on a social media page, they can give off their judgment without any consequences. And so today, I just hope that we don't allow, even comes with who we feel like is important as far as rappers or um, basketball players or whoever, whatever it may be. You don't have to follow in the footsteps of everybody else. Once you find your passion, you can walk in your own lane. I heard Nipsey Hussle just say yesterday, when you're traveling in your own lane, there's no crowd, there's no traffic when you're traveling in your own lane. It's when you try to get into the crowd, hanging out with the wrong people just because you think that they cool, or following a rapper because they talking about the stick that they have and what they doing with this female and this over her. And how you earn your money is also another thing that you got to really pay attention to, because in today's time there's so many opportunities to earn money legally that you don't have to sell drugs, you don't have to scam. I know scamming is probably like the coolest thing, or jugging is the coolest thing, but today's time is so many different legal ways to make money. You got to understand that when you're doing those things outside the law, you really putting yourself in a position to lose everything anyway. You take all these risks to get all this stuff, and if you do get jammed up, you're gonna lose it all. You're gonna lose the woman that you just grinded so hard to get. You're gonna lose the car, the money, the jury. Everything's gonna be gone by the time you come home from prison. Everything's gonna be gone. The world gonna be different. So why not take the risk? Get your credit right. Go to school. Do something positive. Find you something. Do a tour road. Find you Airbnb, something positive, legal way to earn your money. That way, guess what? You ain't got to worry about the police. You ain't got to worry about no jackers. You ain't got to worry about being scammed. You know, life is a whole lot more peaceful when you're on the right side of the law. So if it was one thing that I really, it's crazy because when I was exiting prison, there was this counselor. I was going through a program. He used to always say, do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be, and everything gonna work out just fine. And the more I do that out here in society, the more everything in my life just falls into place. It's less stressful. I'm happier. And, opportunities come just like this one. Blessings. I didn't ask for it. It just came to me. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, other people will notice it, and they will see who you are and what you're about. And they'll open doors for you that you can't open for yourself.
All right. As Catherine says, I like that. Follow in your own lane. There's less traffic when you follow in your lane. Be yourself. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Catherine. Yes, that's a good one. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for those tips. Those are some great tips. I hope you captured them. I did put them in the comments, so make sure that you get them. Did you think of anything else that maybe I did not ask or you want to share before we close?
Off the top of my head, no, but is there, do you have any questions in the comments that somebody has asked that I can answer? Because I'm definitely open. I'm an open book, and if I feel like if they ask the question, I feel like me answering it probably give them. It don't matter if it's a young man, young woman, a parent who has a child who, kind of straying off the path. Any questions, I'm open to answer right now. If you're willing to ask.
Yeah.
There is no dumb question, because that one question can be the difference between your success or failure at whatever it is you're trying to do.
That's right. And we got some single moms on here. Thank you for joining. Brittany, Deacon Holmes, Sister Flowers, Tony. So I'm going to play a quick video. If y'all have any questions, please put them in the comments, and Deric can address them when we come back.
Build Your Best Life, with Coach Deborah D. Smith, invites you to join our 4th annual virtual educational symposium. This year's theme is Educators Reaching Young Men. We have 4 excited, innovative, and effective educators ready to lead our young men into a better future. With the skills and knowledge they possess, presenters this year are Monday, July 31st, Bishop Gregory T. Leitner.
Teach It Forward. Tuesday, August 1st, Anita J. Cummings. I thought you would like to know. Wednesday, August 2nd, Dr. Cynthia Smith. Changing the Narrative. And Thursday, August 3rd, Christine Stringfield Ricks, motivating today's students. This year's event begins Monday, July 31st, and ends Thursday, August 3rd, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each night on Facebook and YouTube. We believe everyone will walk away with a greater love of educators, and a more aggressive desire to assist young men, in the field of education, as they strive to build their best lives. Visit www.buildyourbestlife.org for more information.
Okay, thank you for that. So I'm excited. That begins July 31st, so put that on your calendars. Please join us this Thursday, the 13th, for our coffee chat, where Carol and I are going to be talking about I'm Possible. And we did not have any questions that came up in the chat. So sorry. But please tell everyone where they can find you, Deric.
My name Deric, Deric, Durden, Durden, on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Also, Deric Durden LLC on YouTube. I have a few videos there that explain different aspects of my life, some of the things that I've went through, some of the people that I shared that struggle with. So that's how you can reach me.
Okay, thank you so much. Please make sure that you check out my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. Check out the blog that comes out each Monday, a calendar of events, the services that I offer, which is speaking, webinar speaking, coaching, consultation, and you can get your autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. It's about your life, your actions, and your credibility, and overcoming obstacles to build your best life. So check it out on my website and order your book. You can get it quickly. If you like Kindle version, you can get that on Amazon.com. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. Deric, thank you again for coming on, and the best of luck with you and what you're doing to assist young men and women.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday, the 13th, for our coffee chat. And again, I appreciate you, as always, for supporting us, praying for us, because, this is my passion, working with young men to assist them. Because Deric had his potential and everything. He was out there and he needed someone to offer him a helping hand. So that's why I'm here, trying to catch people on the front end. So thank you so much for your support. Remember, as you go along your busy day, you may encounter a young man that has lost his way. Don't steady your pace. Don't shake your head. Stop, reach out, and give that young man a helping hand. If we all reach out, we can all do a whole lot better with our young men and our young women as well. So again, be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Deric, and everyone who tuned in. Hope to see you on Thursday.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.